Hello, I'm Conlan Omorta, and welcome to the Omorta Racing Network. Today's coverage is FIA Points Race GT3 class for 12 laps at Autodrome Lago Maggiore. And continuing with highlighting our team, joining me today is Xillrond's crew chief, Edward Thornton.
Thank you for having me, Conlan. A real pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is ours, I assure you. We have qualified footage of Rory on his fastest lap. We've sped up the most of it, but we wanted to include it. Edward, I know you worked with Rory alongside Xillrond, helping hone his GT3 skills. What impressed you the most with him?
I was most impressed with the ability to perform against other drivers. Time trial or qualifiers are not his strong suit. He excels having other drivers to pass. While he and Xillrond were on track, his lap times were among the best drivers. Alone, he seems to be too cautious. However, with more confidence in the car, I expect to see that improve.
Well said. And as we see here, he actually qualified down in 15th place. R4M Cheese Noodle in the AMG qualified with a time of 1:58.718. And I'm being told we're going to be observing a moment of silence for our FIA intro. And now we're back to race coverage here as we get a nice pan of our cars. In first place on the grid, R4M Cheese Noodle in the AMG GT3. In second, Steam Avenger in the Ferrari 458. In third place, we have Go Gas Inc. in the Porsche 911. In fourth, we have Bleak Paint in the Audi R8. And in fifth place, we have GT Honda Proud in the Honda NSX. In sixth place, we have Ricky in the Porsche 911. And in seventh, we have Mo Power in the Ford Mustang. And in eighth, we have Wadadity Madness in the Mercedes AMG. Ninth place, Metzfed 920 in the BMW M3. 10th place, we have Surcoy in the Mercedes AMG. And in 11th, we have Triple Dukes in the Nissan GTR. 12th place, we have JT Figs in the Chevy Corvette. And in 13th, OD1 in the Mercedes AMG. 14th, Croati Agta in the BMW M6. And Rory O'More in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. 16th, Psychoholic in the Nissan GTR. 17th place, we have RTR 1950 in the Porsche 911. 18th, Axel F1711 in the BMW M3. And in 19th, Bigant in the BMW M3. 20th place, Shadow in the Honda NSX.
We'll expect a rather tight race here and rather clean as well. We should see Rory kind of explode out of the gate, but he should keep his head clean and have a nice clean race here.
And we'll see how far he's able to move up the ladder. As I said here, he's back in 15th place. We're hoping for a top 10 finish here today, but we shall see how the race plays out. And there's our green, and away we go. R4M Cheese Noodle looks to be doing a bit of a challenge on himself, parking on the side there, going quite down the list and allowing other people to pass. Steven Avenger taking first place around T1 here. Quite a lineup behind him. And we have a replay. two of them up in the top there. We have the Corvette going off the traffic as well as the BMW ahead of him going sideways and back onto the track. Both cars go. And Steve Avenger keeping first from Go Gas Inc. And the Porsche 911 looks like Go Gas was trying to make an inside look. Steve Avenger cuts him off and bends rather nicely around these corners here. More replay up in the top with the Corvette. And now on the GTR going for a spin. And Blake Payne gets in first and Steve Avenger takes it back over. With Gas Inc. tight on his tail fin. Coming in front of Blake Payne and going to take the inside corner here just on the inside of Steve Avenger, just barely on the quarter panel there. And Steve Avenger is starting to pull away a little bit as Gas Inc. and Blake Payne are rubbing paint. They're behind.
Yeah, it's not the fastest way to get around, and it's definitely not the best way to be racing here, as we see them dropping back now with GT Honda taking in front, as well as more power.
And right you are, Edward. Stephen Avenger pulling away a little bit because of the fighting going on, as we saw there Blake Payne going off the track, and our replay catches him just kind of moseying back towards the wall before getting back on track. Steve Avenger coming across the line for the start lap 2 with GT Honda Proud and Mo Power tight on his heels trying to get into contention for first place. And another replay up on top involving two cars here as we saw Triple Dukes coming into the wall and the BMW just following suit right behind him. And Steve Avenger pulling away even more.
GT Honda Proud needs to just put his head down, and Mo Power needs to follow behind for a little bit here. Instead of fighting, use each other to gain more speed, pull away from the pack behind them, and catch up with the leader. If you constantly battle, it slows you down, and therefore the leader can pull away and the pack behind can catch up.
A true statement there, Edward. Most people just try to battle it out the whole time instead of having a good race mind and trying to place both or even more cars ahead of the pack by not fighting. And with a long 12-lap race, this is definitely one where you need some racecraft in your toolbox. And on board with GT Honda Proud, trying to catch back up to Stephen Avenger. Looks like Mo Power has fallen back away from GT Honda Proud a little bit here, as we're just about coming up to the final corners to start lap 3. And around the final hairpin here, onto the tight right corner, onto our main straight, across the start finish for lap number 3. And as we see, it's pretty tight in the top, I'd say about 10 cars here. Any real big mistake, a spin, and you're gonna fall pretty far back. And coming around the S corner onto one of the little back streets. Mo Power posted the fastest sector time in the first sector. And around our first hairpin on this lap. Definitely within towing of GT Honda Proud, and now we have replay involving Triple Dukes and Shadow. Triple Dukes just coming right into the back of Shadow and pushing him around the corner. Poor guy going for a spin in the grass. Drops him down looks like he's going to be overtaken to be in last place here because of that incident.
That really is what a heartbreak and upset to be taken off like that, especially when you're in the back of the pack and trying to catch up to the front. It's devastating to your mental psyche trying to get back into the race.
I couldn't agree more. And Mopawa is contesting GT Honda Proud for second place. GT Honda Proud getting a little bit squirrely around that corner, coming into the hairpin here. Nice and tidy coming through. GT Honda had a little bit better into it, but goes a little bit sideways, coming out of that last corner and going the wrong way there. Goes into the wall, and we'll see where he comes out. What a heartbreak here, and goes into the pits. Probably got flat spots on his tires. And he falls all the way down what looks like it's going to be maybe 12th, 13th, nope, 11th, yep, 12th place. And that is devastating. From 2nd to 12th.
That just shows how quick these drivers are and how close they're matching each other here.
Precisely well said. And Stephen Avenger coming across. Oh, the first aircan going a little bit wibbly wobbly there. More power right on his tail, coming on to his side. And we'll save that for later. And we got Shadow going into the pits, and more power takes over first from Stephen Avenger. Stephen Avenger click on his heels though, but goes a little bit too wide and into the wall, going sideways into the S corners with Ricky tied on his tail here, challenging him for second place. And Stephen Avenger goes wide again and loses it, going for a wibbly wobbly and what looked to be a spin. On board with more power, still in first place, trying to pull away from the pack and out of contention for first. And looks like Stephen Avenger is falling past the top 10 here. As we see another car going sideways, there was Bleak Paint and Croretti Acta in the BMW also going for a spin as well. And we have an onboard of Bleak Paint. We didn't quite really see it on our cameras there. Luckily we have the onboard footage to be able to show what really happened. And R4M Cheese Noodle came into the pits in 5th place. We'll see where he comes out. Looks to be about 7th or 8th place is going to come out. And it comes out in 6th, just ahead of Rory. And I can't believe Rory's already in 7th place. He really did a lot of work coming in. And now we see Bleak Paint on the main screen here in the pits. And he'll come out in 13th place. More power back on screen. In 1st place, pulling away from the pack. Doing a good job keeping his head down, keeping to his lines, breaking points, and race strategy.
That's the most ideal situation, is to have a driver that can just do his job and not let pressure get to him. Stick to the strategy that you've placed, and really use his skill set to his advantage. Most drivers, they get a little bit too pent up, a little bit too excited. And it shows during the race, and you start seeing mistakes, as we just saw there from Ricky in the Porsche. But to keep your head down, keep focused. That's what true talent is.
And I agree with that sentiment very heartedly there, Edward. And Ricky in 2nd, trying to catch back up to Mo Power and the Ford Mustang with Wadudley Madness quick on his heels, trying to get into contention for 2nd place here. Go Gas Inc. is in 4th, quick on Wadudley's Madness heels. It's a pretty good fight here for 2nd place, almost any man's game. And we see R4M Cheese Noodle all the way back up into 5th place there. Trying to get quick contention into them. And Rory O'More into the pits for his first pit stop there on lap 5. He went one lap past his scheduled pit stop, but we'll see if he's able to continue. And GT Hunter Proud going for a spin there in 11th place. What a heartbreak, and back into the pits so quickly. I do believe he's only had 2 laps on those tires. It's a bit kind of crazy. I'm not sure if that was a driver call or a team call to have him come into the pits again. And on board with Triple Dukes, he's coming around sideways and goes for a spin around that last quarter. Oh man, what an upset. And looks like he's going to go to the pits. And more medium tires. Is he going to get fuel? I don't believe he will. He's at 74%. Nope, no fuel. On board with Ricky and the Porsche 911, trying to catch back up to Mo Power. And Madness going a little bit wobbly there. More contention between him and Gas Inc. as we have there Kureti Akita going sideways around the hairpin corner and into the wall and falls all the way back to 13th place. On board now with Waddley Madness in the Mercedes, trying to defend against Go Gas Inc. But the problem is they're fighting so much. 2nd place is pulling away, and R4M Cheese Noodle is catching up.
But as we've stated earlier, if they just used racecraft, there would be a better off.
I agree with you there, as we saw Ricky in the pits as well as Mo Power. And Go Gas Inc. took over 1st place. R4M Cheese Noodle all the way up to 2nd place. Rory now in 6th, but Surcoy comes out ahead from the pits. Psychoholic in the pits now, as well as OD1. And JT Figs comes into the pit here, as well as our BMW. Unfortunately, I cannot read the name. Karate Octi also comes into the pits. R4M Cheese Noodle fighting for 1st place. Mo Power is in 3rd, right on his tail fin here. And Ricky right behind that. 4-way battle for 1st place. And we have more coming into the pits. We have Big Gun Baganti and the BMW in there, as well as Triple Dukes going off into the grass, having a little bit of a heyday there off track. And Bleak Paint going for a spin into the wall again. Just not his day in that Audi R8. Goes completely stopped there on the dirt. Not sure where he's going from here, and going in reverse onto the track. What a huge no-no, and spins off back into the grass. R4M Cheese Noodle got taken over by Mo Power and drops back, well, into 2nd. And Mo Power is starting to pull away here a little bit from Cheese Noodle, who went just about all the way down to last place on the 1st lap, intentionally trying to get back up, and we see him now in 2nd place. And now we have a replay of Waddley Madness going off the track due to the contact between the 3 of them there. It was Ricky, Go Gas Inc. And Go Gas Inc. comes into the pits due to, I'm sure, sliding around, causing a little bit too much tire wear. Still on board with Cheese Noodle in 2nd place, as Mo Power is pulling away.
Why do you do that with the name Mo Power? You're getting really excited with the name there, and that seems to be the only name you're doing that with.
Well, it's a fun name to say. I guess the reason why I'm doing so. And we have RTR 1950 into the pits, coming out now. Looks like he's going to retain 14th place. And Cheese Noodle trying to catch back up, just barely in the toe behind Mo Power. And Bleak Paint coming into the pits again. We're only on lap 7. I do believe that's the second time he's been in the lap. Mo Power is coming around 19th place. Shadow in last place there. Has the blue flag. Might either hinder or help the top pack as they're coming by him. And coming around our loose spoon corner there, Cheese Noodle was going a little bit wide and just about into the grass there. Manages to keep control and into the final S's, almost to the final hairpin of the lap. However, it looks like he is on a 2-stop strategy. We might see him come into the pits. And there he does. So R4M Cheese Noodle into the pits for his second time. Is he going to get any fuel? Don't believe so. I believe he's going to come back into second place. Just barely comes out ahead of the pack back there. And Mo Power just comes out in the lead, pulling away. Well, I guess he already had the lead, but he's just pulling away from the pack. And Rory going into the pit just overtook and into 7th place. I wonder if he's going to get any fuel. Here he is, just a little bit, and back out. We'll see where he comes out here. Comes out 10th place. A little bit of work to do, but hey, he's still within what we were hoping for. He's going, again, beyond our expectations here.
But like I've stated earlier, it just goes to what he's able to do with his talent against other cars. If he was just by himself, it would be maybe 204, 205 lap times, but when he's against these other cars, he's right at that 2-minute lap times. He gets extremely quick when he's pushing himself against other cars. And it's kind of funny, me and his crew chief, we coined the term struggles unless passing. It's more he strives for that challenge and that competitiveness.
Great insight there, Edward. Almost called you Eddie, sorry about that. And R4M Cheese Noodle back in 2nd place here. And trying to catch up to the leader, Mo Power, for 1st place. He's well within his sights, but still quite far off for striking distance. He's going to need to put his head down and really try to hammer out these last 2 laps to catch up with nothing but perfect laps. And I'm sure he's hoping Mo Power is going to have a little bit of an upset or tire failure, something, so that he can catch up. GT Hunter Proud now into the pits. I do believe he might come out in 9th or 10th. And it looks like 9th. He comes out in 9th place, just ahead of the smaller pack, congregating around 10th, 11th, and 12th. Still on board with Cheese Noodle as he's pulling away from Ricky and Go Gas Inc. in 3rd and 4th, trying desperately to catch back up to the leader as we saw Shadow just going off the track there. Luckily, still have a camera on him as he's performing ballerina moves on the track. Spinning, spinning, spinning. And around here are loose hairpin, R4M, Cheese Noodle, nice and tidy and keeping a lot of speed through those corners. He's got quick lap time going on. He's starting to close the gap within striking distance almost. He's probably about a half second out of tow currently from our leader, Mo Power. And Rory's back up into 7th place with GT Hot and Proud behind. And they do have quite a bit to go up to the leaders here as R4M Cheese Noodles just put out the fastest lap of the race, 158.559. That is blisteringly quick. And around the spoon corner here, just barely out of tow, he is from Mopawa in 1st place. And another pit stop here for Cycloholic. Looks like he's just going to get tires, but on lap 10, that was a bit of a risky move. He's going to come out in 11th place. What it looks like he's going to come out. And JT Figs going off into the grass, and Cycloholic goes off on the other side. And back on board with Mopawa. His fastest lap time so far is a 159.793. R4M Cheese Noodle definitely has the lap times in the bag, and he's just about in tow distance now. He's probably about, I'm going to say 0.2 seconds off, or 0.2 off the pace there to be in tow by our leader, as he's just about to come around the last corners here to start our final lap. Going a little bit wibbly wobbly there over our start finish to start lap 12. Last lap. R4M Cheese Noodle needs to hammer down to try to catch up and get contention for 1st place, as we just saw Woody Wan going off the track, going wibbly wobbly all across the wall over there, spinning in 13th place.
Mopawa is really doing a great job of just sticking to his lines, not pushing the car too much, keeping relative close lap times, consistent lap times, and if he continues with this mindset, he's going to take the win. If he gets baffled or a little bit too excited about coming into 1st place, he'll lose it to Cheese Noodle. But I do believe he's got the mindset to win the race. We'll see about that. Cheese Noodle desperately trying to catch up here, but we are on the last leg of the lap and the race. Cheese Noodle going a little bit wide there, trying to flash his lights, trying to get some kind of upset from Mopawa, who looks like he definitely is going to uncontestedly take 1st place. As we're coming up to the last S corners here. Nice and tidy and clean, smooth and quick. And on to the final hairpin. Taking it with ease and around the last corner. Coming in 1st place, Mopawa. And R4M Cheese Noodles gonna take 2nd place. Still a climb to the top. He had Go Gas Inc. is going to take 3rd. Wadadley Madness going to come across in, 4th place. Ricky in 5th in the Porsche 911. Sir Coy definitely has room behind him. Going to take 6th place. And we'll watch him come across the line. And coming around the last hairpin there. The traction control doing him nicely there as he's getting on a little bit too early around those corners. And comes across in 6th place, Rory O'Moore. Gonna take 7th place
Attaboy, attaboy. GT Hunter Proud is going to take 8th place. Mets fan, 920. Looks like he's going to come across. 9th place. Suckaholic, he comes across at 10th. Karate Akta is going to come 11th. JT Feegs is going to take 12th in that Corvette. RTR 1950, he's going to come across in 13th and 14th. Obi-Wan. Edward, it was a real pleasure having you here today. We definitely look forward to your experience out there for our team.
But it was great being here. Time to get back to work.
And thank you for being here. We'll see you next time.